There was a story in regards to John Singleton, and when he was supposed to actually do the movie about Tupac's life, in reference to him wanting to add some kind of scene involving Feeney and some uncompromising situation position in regards to that film. Is there any truth to that?
I never heard that before. Not a fan.
You never heard that
No.
before?
Not
a
no,
fan?
I never heard that. Not what you're saying, I heard, but not as it relates to a feigning. What I heard was that during the script process for that movie that Morgan Creek produced about Tupac called All Eyes on Me, John Singleton was expected to be the writer and director of that movie. I think what happened was that during the script process, we read a draft of it, and in the draft, it had Tupac in an uncompromising situation in jail. It was feeding this lie, the script. What he had in the script was feeding the lie or reliving the lie, retelling the lie that has been propagated about Tupac being compromiser. So when that was read in the script, obviously we disputed it and shut that down. By the way, another thing, going back to what you were saying about misconceptions, people talking about Tupac, spreading misconceptions that said they had relationships with them. Let me shed light on something. A lot of people who had relationships with Tupac who are coming out saying now that Tupac was such a great guy or that their experience with Tupac was so cool, so dope. A lot of those people hated Tupac when he was alive. You gotta be mindful of that. A lot of people who are coming out with these new revelations about their relationships didn't care too much for Tupac when he was alive. And a lot of people, and I'm gonna give you an example with John Singleton. When Tupac was alive, John Singleton and Tupac had conflict because John Singleton casted Tupac in the movie, and when the rape case appeared, he fired Tupac, right? There was conflict there, right? And you know how Pac was? Pac was like the kind of guy that, you know, he would speak his mind and he would be honest about whatever that was bothering him, in particular with this case with John Singleton. So anyway, what I think was that people like John Singleton inserted that scene of Tupac or that innuendo of Tupac being abused in jail as payback for whatever conflict he had with Tupac 20 years before or however long that was ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that as an example, framing what I'm talking about as far as how people may say certain things about Tupac today, currently, that will give you the impression that they were so cool with him, where in reality, in the past, they wasn't.
But also the movie that you were referring to that John Singleton fired Tupac from was Higher Learning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Higher Learning. Yeah, it was Higher Learning. Yo, when Tupac got that phone call, I was in the living room with him. He got the phone call. He was on the phone.
The phone call when he was fired, or
when he was
hired?
fired from
Okay,
John Singleton.
elaborate.
Yeah, he got the phone call. He got the phone call, and it made him angry, man. Like he was angry about that because if anybody, he expected John Singleton to give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, and that didn't happen.
Wow.